What up, everybody? Happy Friday. Thanks as always for tuning in to PDubs Arcade Loft, where we always appreciate it when you come and hang out upstairs with us. And it's going to be another fun-filled arcade and gaming weekend. Your work week is over. It's time to kick back. It's time to relax. Grab some Doritos, grab some cheesy poofs, grab some Hot Pockets. Sit down and get ready for all those content creators in the home arcade space who love to entertain you on Friday nights, including my good friend Glenn's retro show. Kicking It Old School is going to come on in about 30 minutes. So we have about 30 minutes to do our pre-show. And I pinned a link to his channel at the top of this live chat just now, so you guys can head over there when we're done. We're going to make this pre-show 30 minutes. Now, keep in mind, too, guys, Glenn does not have automatic redirects set up on his channel like all of us do. So, Glenn, if you're out there, baby, Glenn, do me a favor, enable auto redirect so we can send viewers your way when the broadcast is over. Speaking of Glenn's retro show, I'm very, very happy to say I spoke with Glenn, and I shouldn't even tell you guys this now, but I'm going to tell you anyway because I'm excited about it. I spoke with Glenn, and he's sending me one of his new Sinden shotgun light guns. That way we can make some content for you guys on the channel, showing you how to connect it to Raspberry Pis, how to connect it to Sinden PC builds, how it's plug and play with Arcade1Ups, plus some fun content I have planned for it. So we got Glenn's shotgun is on the way. Can't wait to get our hands on it and start making those videos for you guys when it gets here. So that's a little bit of an early teaser. So tonight for this pre-show, as you guys know, we got a ton of topics we're going to talk about in Super Game Room Dudes. There is a ton of stuff happening in the world of gaming. So make sure you tune into the Super Game Room Dudes later on tonight after Kicking It Old School with Glenn and the boys over there. But for tonight, for this pre-show, you know, some people have been telling me, they've been messaging me, they've been commenting, they're like, P-Dubs, you don't talk about Arcade1Up anymore. Well, in my opinion, there's really nothing to talk about, and I didn't want to bury my audience, my viewers, with a whole bunch of will they, won't they, what's going on streams. We've talked about it. We've reacted to stuff that's happened this year, and at this point, you're just hitting the dead horse, in my opinion, right? There's nothing to talk about for an hour with Arcade1Up when it comes to what they're doing in 2024. Now, once they actually announce something, yeah, guys, I'll be more than happy to talk about it and make videos about that stuff. And yeah, does that mean less views on my channel since Arcade1Up makes up about 20% of my content? Yeah, it means a little less views on my channel, but it doesn't kill my channel. So that's just a heads up there, guys. I know a lot of people really, really want to talk about Arcade1Up stuff, but there's nothing new to talk about. But then I got to thinking, there is some old stuff to talk about, like a trip down memory lane. And yeah, like this stuff. Will they, won't they, will they, won't they, will they, won't they? That stuff has been beaten to death in your guys' ears. We've seen hour-long live streams with these big-ass slideshow presentations. We've seen Let's Go. We've seen all this stuff from everybody. And I know everyone's excited. We all want that company to continue moving forward. But until they move forward, what is there to say? What is there to say? But doesn't mean that the entire history of Arcade1Up has been bad, though. They've made plenty of mistakes as a company, as well as individuals who've worked there have made plenty of mistakes as well. But keep in mind, too, guys, there are thousands, and I mean thousands of people who enjoy their products. And they don't care what a bunch of YouTubers say or what a bunch of other people say. Like, they truly enjoy that company and that brand. And they think it's awesome. They love being able to have a cost-effective, low maintenance, and smaller in scale arcade in their homes. I mean, think about it. That's how Arcade1Up got all of us. That's how they got me. The first time that I was walking through a Walmart and we saw that Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet, the original Gen 1 Street Fighter 2, and we saw it sitting there on the end cap, and I told my wife, Melissa, I was like, look at that. That looks cool. And you guys, if you've been around long enough, you know this story. She bought it for me for Father's Day. And then right after that, a couple weeks later, I bought Mortal Kombat. And I was hooked, baby. I was hooked. I was hooked. And if there's one thing that you can do with your Arcade1Up stuff nowadays is mod and tinker with them, right? Like if they don't have a lot of new products coming out, and let's say you're bored of the old products, why not start modding them, tinkering with them, have fun with them, go throw a new marquee on there, go throw some light up buttons in there if that's your thing. Like have some fun, right? Have some fun. Look at Andy. He did some work on his cabs today. It's a good way to keep yourself entertained while you're waiting for new releases. Now, although Arcade1Up has made plenty of mistakes, they've also had some successes. When I look back, and you know, I've covered Arcade1Up for 4 years on this channel. When I look back at it, if I look at all my reviews, I feel I've been pretty down the middle. Like if you go back and look at all my reviews, if they made a machine that I really, really liked, like the Marvel Superheroes 3/4 scale, the Ninja Turtles, the Star Wars, Ridge Racer. I thought Ridge Racer was a great cabinet. I'll argue that to death with any of you. I thought Ridge Racer was great. They emulated it great. It played great. The only thing that really sucked was the pedals. You know, the pedals are cheap plastic pedals. But minus that, they did a pretty damn good job for that price range. And Ace Driver ran great. Like, I thought Ridge Racer was a win in my opinion. Like, if it was a really good cabinet, I put out reviews saying it was really good. If it was a cabinet I was disappointed in, I put out the reviews saying, hey, it sucks. Like Pac-Man 40th and others. You know what I mean? Like I would tell you guys, you know what I mean? Like it's never been everything is great, everything is roses over here. But if there's one product that I really, really liked from Arcade1Up, in all honesty, it was the Countercades, which is what we're going to talk about here on this pre-show for 20 minutes. And hopefully some of you have picked up some of these Arcade1Up Countercades in the past. If you have, let me know in the live chat. And start telling me what you think about it. Like what did you have any that were your favorites, or did you just never even got into them? You never thought you never liked them? Because for instance, there've been plenty of people, like if you look at Arcade1Up Reddit, if you look at Arcade1Up Facebook, Arcade1Up stuff, there's plenty of people out there who they have like 6 or 7 Arcade1Up Countercades. They all have them on a bar shelf or whatever, and that's their home arcade because that's what space and budget did for them, right? Space and budget. And, you know, there's a few Arcade1Up Countercades that I really liked, that I wanted to talk about. One of them was Digdug. Now, the Digdug Countercade was like the original, one of the original Arcade1Up Countercades. Do you guys remember when they made these in a larger form factor and then they switched to a smaller size? You guys got to let me know in the live chat what you thought. Did you like the original size like Digdug is here? And what you see right here is a video on my channel from eons ago. I am wearing shorts, but I'm not wearing jorts in this camera shot, so my apologies. No jorts here. But did you guys like when they were this big, or did you guys like them when they made them smaller? In my opinion, although the smaller ones were, you know, more compact and stuff, and they eventually started putting better screens in them, like, in my opinion, I thought this size was a little bit better, you know, a little bit bigger and stuff like that. And I actually kind of miss this Digdug Countercade. Right here, you see we were putting on a control panel from DIY Retro Arcade, and we were using a light-up button kit from DIY Retro Arcade. Take a look here. What's kind of funny is when we go through old videos on my channel, you can kind of see how things have constantly changed and evolved. Take a look at the background there, guys. We got a Haunted House Toy Shock pinball machine with the Haunted House artwork on the bezel to get rid of that big silver bezel. We also have the PDubs Pincade, which is my narcissistic arcade machine that has my name and logo all over it, which is still in my garage to this day because I can't sell it to anybody. No one's going to buy it with my logo on all 6 sides, all 6 panels of the machine, etc. But I got to tell you, man, I really liked the Countercades for what they were. I mean, I think a lot of people had use for them. Let's see here. Let's start getting your feedback in the live chat, guys. Start sharing. We got Jeremy K. He never got the Countercades. He'd rather play a full size. Andy's Game Room, he has the Galaga 2nd Gen Countercade. He got it for $50. Yeah, I mean, these things are cost effective as well. Jason, I love the Digdug artwork. So pissed the A1Up had a crap monitor. Yeah, that plagued these original Countercades. The original Countercades, as you can see from the washout and the whiteout on this monitor, the monitor was terrible. But in my opinion, the control panels, everything was a bit larger, a bit more comfortable to play. You actually had a little bit of room there to put your wrists on the panel and all that kinds of stuff. So question for you guys in the live chat. Would you rather have the Digdug size or the smaller size Countercades? Let me know. Please give me that feedback right now. Honestly, if they start making more, I wouldn't mind the what you call it? The larger ones. I kind of like the larger ones. Let's take a Digdug one looks pretty good. Oh, you're talking about the 3/4? Well, yeah, the 3/4 and the Countercade of Digdug both had horrible monitors. Horrible monitors. All right, so right here is a video of when I got the Galaga 88 Countercade, and I got this for only like $75. And in the video, $76, and I was super, super excited about it. And taking a peek here, although it was a white with the purple and like artwork wise, is this like the best looking thing? No, but man, this one had a hell of a games list. You had all the Galaga games on it. You had Galaga 88, you had Galaga, you had Gapless. Oh man. What else did we have on here? We had Galaga 88, Gapless. Let me take a look here, guys. Here, let me pull it up for you real quick. Because it was a great games list on this Countercade. 5 games. You guys ready? Galaga 88, Galaga, Galaxian, Gapless, and Xevious. 5 great games. 5 great games on this Countercade. So in my opinion, from a game lineup, thanks so much, Cyan. Yeah, the games list was the best. This is probably the best one. And what's really weird is every time they did like a Galaga themed Arcade1Up cabinet, like the 3/4 scale ones or deluxes, they kept reusing the same PCB, giving us the same games, right? The same games. Like even on, you guys remember the Galaga 40th Arcade1Up? I can't remember if it was a deluxe or if it was a Galaga 40th on a riser. But you guys remember when they came out, it just had like the Miss Pac-Man PCB in there. So you had Miss Pac-Man, you had Galaga, Galaxian, and Galaga 88, but you didn't have Gapless and Xevious, right? And this is the lineup they should be sticking on those Galaga cabs. Yeah, they used like the same PCB. But man, like this was a great lineup for a little Arcade1Up Countercade. This was a cool little one, in my opinion. Thanks so much for the feedback. Chaotic is in the kitchen right now. Well, hopefully I can entertain you while you're cooking dinner. Galaga deserved better. There you go, Andy's Game Room. Keep the feedback coming in the live chat, guys. Get fired up. After this show, you're going to head over. You're going to talk to Kicking It Old School with Glenn's Retro Show. And after Glenn's Retro Show, you're going to come on back for Super Game Room Dudes. And we have a ton of topics tonight. I don't know how that show is going to shake out with how many topics we have to do tonight. Bo knows Tecmo. This is the one I traded for a bucket of KFC if it is the Countercade. Did that really happen? I've heard you tell me that many times, Bo. And sometimes I wonder, Bo, if you're just pulling my leg or not. But this one had a pretty decent monitor on it, as you can see here. Look at how nice the blacks look black. Look at the coloring on this thing. This one had like the newer monitor. had the different options on the games. I believe we didn't have fast fire though. Let's take a look. I can't remember. It's been a while. Oh, here we go. Galaga. No, that's Galaxian. That's Gapless. That's Galaga 88. Let me see. Where is it? Galaga. Nope. They didn't give us the fast fire option. So that was kind of a miss, right? But they could have added it. They could have added it. Man, look at how good this looked. I really like this one, you know, and I wouldn't mind if they re-release like another Galaga Countercade with this lineup, and maybe, who knows, maybe add a couple more vertical shooters on there. I might be interested in it. Because I really enjoyed this one. I kept this one for a while. Eventually, as the clutter filled the house, I had to make some sacrifices and I did sell it. So that was kind of a shame, but it's kind of like when I sold I've told a lot of you this if you've been following the channel. When I sold my Arcade1Up Final Fight, I really, really regretted it. I still miss that thing to this day. And what's funny is those games, 1944, The Loop Master, Final Fight, what else was on there? Was it Strider? Like Ghosts and Goblins or whatever. Like, dude, you can play those on anything. I have all these multicades. I have all these games. I can play them on anything. But for some reason, I really, really enjoyed playing them on the Arcade1Up 1940, the Arcade1Up Final Fight cabinet. It's weird, right? Kind of like I've told you guys before. Although I have Golden Tee and a trackball on my multicades, for some reason, I really enjoyed playing Golden Tee more on the Arcade1Up Golden Tee, the first Golden Tee, right? Not the Golden Tee XL. That's a freaking horror story in and of itself. But it was something about playing it on there. They had a bigger, fatter trackball, and it worked really well, and the game emulated well. There were no issues with that one, right? The Golden Tee XL, when that came out, they had to do multiple firmware updates to get the everything fixed and dialed in. You guys remember this stuff like that, but you know, sometimes you do want to play on something a little more dedicated, which I totally understand. And then again, there's a lot of Arcade1Up games that, like for instance, Marvel Superheroes and those type of games, in my opinion, they run better on the MVSX. So I'd rather play them on the MVSX than on an Arcade1Up. Hence why I don't have any of those arcades anymore. Except for the Marvel Superheroes Countercade. Now, what was really cool about this is you got that really nice new screen. And this was a 2-player Countercade, but, you know, 95% of the time, I'm playing by myself anyway. So what do I care about having a second player on any of my arcades? It's just nice to have the option, right? Taking a look here. Oh, and then I'm showing off the difference between, here was the Miss Pac-Man Countercade I had with that shit screen on it, with the terrible viewing angles, and then you come over here and they nailed it, right? They nailed it. And then the Digdug is over there to the left. How many of you guys got a Marvel Superheroes Countercade? Let me know in the live chat. In my opinion, they did a fantastic job with this one. They really did, in my opinion. It's a great little Countercade. I still have it today. I love my little 3/8 scale stand that I got from G.I. Joel. So, you know, I have that sitting on the shelf in the loft. Damien's here. What's up, Damien? Welcome to the show. I gave one away as a gift for Christmas. But yeah, take a look here, man. This was sharp, and, you know, it was the 4 games that we really liked, you know, Punisher, Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter, etc. But, you know, what really made this thing awesome, in my opinion, what really made this thing awesome, of course, is if we go and flip to a different video, was the fact that Team Encoder released the Batacera mod, right? And I did a video on that. I did a tutorial video on it. It's actually one of the most watched views on my channel. It's got like 90,000 views. A lot of people use this tutorial to do this mod, which I greatly appreciate the support that you guys chose me to use my tutorials and stuff whenever I film this kind of stuff. And you're able then to, you know, play a ton of stuff on here. What's funny is, you know, sometimes I'll have people commenting like, you know, I loaded X game on that video and it doesn't run. And it's like, guys, the hardware in here is very, very weak. It's very, very weak. It's not gonna run everything. You know what I mean? And some of the games that they're trying to get up and running are kind of funny in my opinion. Kind of funny, um but you know, when you're actually able to do stuff like this, turn it into more of a multicade, plus still play Marvel superheroes, Marvel vs. Capcom, Punisher, like all those games that were included was really cool in my opinion. But like in my opinion, dude, the Marvel superheroes countercade is pretty cool. So like those were like my three favorite. So if we go back here, here's a nice little camera shot for you guys. So in my opinion, the Digdug, again, the bigger size there. I hope Arcade1Up makes them bigger like that in the future, but who knows? I have a feeling they're probably going to stick with the smaller size. You know, they got to make these things smaller and cheaper to make, all that kinds of stuff. Um, I would like them to go bigger, but odds are they'll probably stay this size if they keep making these. But those two plus the Galaga 88 were my three favorites. That Miss Pac-Man I did not like. Again, because of, you know, just how terrible the screen was and stuff like that. It looked cool. It was a cute cabinet. I even put the I can't remember if that one came with the light up marquee or if I got that from Angel. There were a number of countercades that I went to Angel Otero this ability upgrade. So if you're newer to the hobby, go to Angel Otero this ability upgrades if you want to get a light up marquee for an older Arcade1Up countercade. These are made for profit. Yeah, man. These are like turn and burn, quick. We just want to make stuff like this to make money. In my opinion, yeah. Well, that's what I remember back in the heyday. Back in the heyday when I was all like, well, at least make a Cubert countercade. How can a Cubert countercade not sell? And if you guys remember, there was an old photo that leaked, an old photo that leaked a long time ago, where it was like Arcade1Up headquarters. And there were a bunch of prototype cabinets in there, probably cabinets they build that they take to licensors or they take it to retailers to try and get them to approve launching it as a product. And there was a Cuber countercade in there. Do you guys remember that? Unfortunately, I don't have that photo anymore. That thing got leaked out like 4 years ago. I've deleted that from my PC a long time ago. But there was a Cuber countercade in there. I got excited back then. I was like, cool, maybe they'll do Cuber. If you're not going to make a 3/4 scale, make a Cuber countercade. Well, as long as you got the Cuber joystick in there. But then again, you got to have the knocker, though. That's the other thing. But hey, since Zen Studios and Arcade1Up aren't going to be making, here's my philosophy. And again, I don't like doing the will they, won't they stuff. But here's what I would do. Let's say, for instance, your Arcade1Up, you get a warehouse full of parts overseas where they build these things for a whole bunch of pinball machines that you're now no longer going to assemble because Zen Studios, that partnership is pretty much dead with Arcade1Up. Zen Studios is totally on board with that games. Why not take those solenoids that you have extra laying around, those solenoids that you have extra laying around, and build Cubert with that. Use that as your solenoid, that little pinball solenoid, that little, like you already have the part, just wire that bad boy up, program it, whatever. It's got to be that simple, right, guys? It's got to be that simple. But yeah, and do that and give us Cubert, right? Give us Cubert. I mean, I already have a real Cubert. Would I buy one if someone else made a Cubert? Yeah, I probably would because I'm that big of a fan. And I would love to compare it. I would love to compare like how good is it, the recreation versus the original thing, right? Because mine's fully functioning, all original hardware, and it runs great, all that kinds of stuff. Or use that box of used pinball machine parts with Libyan terrorists to fuel your DeLorean. Yep, that's from Back to the Future. Back to the Future. Ted Adams says his price point is less than $300 right now. Less than $300. That's what he's going for. Hey, man, we're in that day and age where people don't have the kind of money to spend on this hobby that they used to. And what stinks about that is the prices in this hobby continue to rise. I mean, you take a look at Games' new arcade machine when that thing comes out. It's probably gonna be about $1,000. Their pinball machines, $1,400. The Unico Nova Blast, which is a product that's meant for home, but as well as businesses. Keep in mind, guys, they revealed that product at amusement park conventions, at an amusement park convention in Florida, because the goal is to get businesses to buy those, such as an arcade at an amusement park, to buy those and make them coin operated or card operated so they can make money off it. It's supposed to be a commercial product, but the size of it is great where it could fit in the home as well. And again, that product's well over $1,000, right? This community has been screaming for better quality, more premium features for years. Sounds like some of the companies want to give that to us, give us a more premium experience, but with that experience comes a higher price tag. So the question is are you willing to pay to play? Are you willing to pay to play? So that's something to think about. If What's interesting is Numbskull today put out pictures of Zookeeper, their new mini arcade machine, quarter scale, and it's going to be around 250 is going to be the retail price. Space Invaders, Ninja Turtles were $299. Looks like Elevator Action is going to be $249. We'll talk about it more on Super Game Room Dudes tonight, but this is very interesting. Don't click away just yet. A couple people in the comments section of the Facebook reveal of the photos and the video of this arcade said, man, this thing looks great, but it's got a cheap plastic door on it. It's got a plastic coin door, and they were complaining about it. And Ben Grant himself, the head honcho of Numbskull, he responded to them very politely. He's like, you guys were very upset with the prices of Space Invaders and Ninja Turtles. We're really trying to get the prices down to $249 or less. We could get you a metal coin door, but it's going to raise the price of the machine. Yeah, it might only raise it about $10 or so, but every feature adds up for them to make their own profit on it down the road. And I thought that was very cool and fair of Ben to have that discussion openly on their Facebook page with their customers. And it's something to think about. How premium do we want these things to be? And are we willing to pay to play to have that kind of experience? A couple of people seemed like they were willing to pay more to Ben. I'll give you the $10 more. Give me a metal coin door on this replica. And a couple people were like, okay, that's fine. No worries. Keep it as is. We'll deal with a plastic coin door. Isn't that interesting? It's interesting. I thought that was very interesting today that I read that. Anyway, guys, my time is just about up. I hope you guys tune in to the Super Game Room Dudes later on tonight, because we have about 15 topics to talk about tonight because there's so much happening in the world of gaming. But before you do, make sure you go watch my buddy Glenn over at Glenn's Retro Show. He doesn't have redirects set up on his channel, so I can't just send you over there. But the link to the video of his show, which starts in 2 minutes or so, is pinned to the top of the comments section of the live show that you're watching right now. Just click on that link, head over there. I'm going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this pre-show and a quick discussion about Arcade1Up Countercades. In my opinion, they've always been a fun product line for Arcade1Up, and I hope they continue to do them in the future. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up on the way out. Give us your feedback, thoughts, comments if you caught this on replay. And as always, my dudes, thank you for subscribing. Go watch Kicking It Old School with Glenn's Retro Show, and I'll see you on Super Game Room Dudes later tonight. PDubs is out. Bye! I can't believe I just said PDubs is out. So stupid.